Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Garcia, and today I will be answering project number 14. Um, so, project number 14 is another one of those crazy questions. Um, Basically, saying the B appears as a way to provide, at best, problematic ethics in Montero's story. What animal would you choose as a less problematic ethical animal? So, in Montero's story, the bee, obviously it's not just an insect. It's a symbol for an ethical system built on fear. The narrator learns that the only way to survive is to stay calm, stay still, and never provoke. The bee is an ethics of self-erasure. Your job is to control someone else's emotions so that they don't sting you. This produces what philosophers would call a reactive fear-based morality, where moral action is not about what is right, but about what avoids punishment. So, yes, the bee is a problematic ethical animal, not because bees themselves are bad, but because the metaphor traps the narrator inside a system where the moral burden is always on the more vulnerable person. The mother is the bee, armed with a stinger. The child is the one who must learn constant emotional regulation to prevent explosion. The B stands for ethics as hypervigilance, guilt, and um, just like a negative connotation to it. And if I had to choose an animal that would be a less problematic, like moral model, I would pick maybe like a deer. I mean, obviously, I get it. In Texarkana, you can see them pretty often. Um, but being here from California, I don't really see deer as often. But it may seem like a surprising choice, but they represent an ethical mindset different from bees. So they're known for always being they're very quiet, to themselves, just trying to survive. They stick together. Um, they're just known for literally the opposite of violence. They're not typically violent. Well, rarely have you ever heard, I'm pretty sure I've never heard of a deer being violent. But, um, obviously, if they are provoked, they will want to fight back, but they're very just these gentle things. And I feel like that would be a great choice to as another animal. Um, where in the story where the bee teaches Montero's narrator that safety comes from silence and stillness, a deer teaches that safety comes from like a connection. Obviously, you have to connect with other deer to kind of stick together. So, imagine if Montero's narrator had grown up in that kind of ethical ecosystem. Instead of learning, don't move or someone will hurt you, she might have learned when tension rises, like your community will step in for you so you don't face it alone. So instead of learning that anger is a weapon, the powerful like take or like connection, she might have learned that anger is just one emotion among many, which is something worked through, not something that explodes and leaves scars. Obviously, deer are not perfect creatures, but because no animal is flawless, but compared to the bee metaphor, which is more about like threat and explosive consequences, the deer is more of a resilient, ethical animal. So while bees in Montero's story generate a powerful metaphor, they do indeed provide a problematic ethical template, which is one rooted with fear, being fragile, and the expectation that the child must manage the adult. A deer, on the other hand, suggests an ethics grounded in cooperation, communication, and collective care. So, in a story about rethinking inherited trauma, that kind of animal may help us, not just a different ethics, but a different future. Thank you.